Jennifer Kashinka in for Gordon Deal along with Mike Gavin. Thanks for spending your morning with us. The Biden administration has announced a new ban on evictions for many renters just days after the White House allowed a nationwide moratorium to expire on Saturday. For now, the moratorium's in place until October 3rd. What problems has the pandemic brought about for tenants? Here to assess the situation, Altagracia Pierre-Outerbridge, owner of her own New York City-based law firm, which focuses on landlord-tenant litigation. Altagracia, what would the end of this moratorium mean for struggling tenants?
Tenants are at risk of eviction. In New York City, there is an extended moratorium, but in other states that don't have an extended state or city-based moratorium, then tenants are at risk of eviction. So landlords can go to court and get a marshal or sheriff to lock doors, leading tenants to be homeless.
Will this take time over weeks or months, or will it happen suddenly?
So it depends on the process in the specific state. In New York, it usually takes months even before the pandemic. In some states, the process is more expedited. But at any rate, there needs to be a legal process wherein a judge finds that when it's owed, that the person is properly the landlord, right, and that an eviction is in order.
Where can tenants in New York go to get help if they're in this situation now?
There are many community-based organizations, so tenants should apply for rental assistance. That's one major goal that they should have. Applying for rental assistance will absolutely help, and that's the reason for the $2.4 billion in New York rental assistance. There are many community-based organizations that help with applications. As well, tenants can go, the main way is to apply online on the OTDI website, otda.gov. /EWAP is where you can apply for rental assistance. As well, there are many free legal services providers that can give legal advice, and we remain open as well to provide advice to tenants.
What about the rights of landlords in this situation? There are people who have not been paid for over a year. What kind of rights do they have?
Absolutely. We have landlords here who are owed $200,000 from landlords who are renting luxury apartments at $40K a pop, $50K a pop, who are owed $200,000, to landlords who are renting rooms, right, weekly, who are owed $30, $40,000. So what can they do? One action they can take is to actually apply themselves for the rental assistance that is out there. Another action they can take is to actually commence an eviction proceeding. Then the burden shifts back to the tenant to actually certified that they should not be evicted due to the pandemic. So while New York has an extended eviction moratorium, the landlord can still commence the case and put it back on the tenant to certify that they should not, and to certify that they should not be evicted. So landlords can still commence the case. Whether or not the court will hear it is a different story.
As an attorney who's worked on both sides of this issue, landlords and tenants, are there ways to solve these disputes without getting into prolonged court fights?
Yes, and that's what we actually specialize in. Both sides come to us. We call the tenant. If we represent the landlord, we encourage the landlord to talk to the tenant to come into a payment plan. Right. Same with the tenant. Encourage them to apply for rental assistance and stay out of court. Get an agreement that provides for abatements and rent and for a payment plan. Ultimately, that is exactly what the court will do. That is most likely what most courts will do in this situation is get people to come, both sides, to get into a payment plan.
Is this the worst case that you've seen in a number of years over the pandemic? Have things gotten a lot worse for tenants?
Absolutely. I haven't seen this before. I mean, I've been practicing through Hurricane Sandy. This is truly the worst.
That's attorney Altagracia Pierre-Outerbridge. It's 20 minutes past the hour. Here's Mike Gavin.